Hi, and welcome back to BTS Presents. Today we are here with David Wright of the Hidden Peak Tea House. We're also here with David Rodriguez of Valor Academy and Lisa Westby, a Law of Attraction coach. So we're going to have a little interesting conversation here today about human potential, power of the mind, just what humans are really capable of. So I'm going to start with Lisa here because I love the Law of Attraction.
It's so fun.
Absolutely. So what are your experiences with manifesting and power of the mind and how that could really help humanity?
Well, wow, those are
Big
a
questions.
lot of big questions. Okay. I came upon Law of Attraction maybe about a decade ago. I know it sounds really simple, and a lot of people watch The Secret, and I really feel that there's a lot of, writing your lists and making everything really precious, but really it's the art of allowing life to treat you well and allowing yourself to receive what the universe wants to give you. And it's a difficult thing to do because in this culture we're really told to focus hard on our goals and go really hard, and that is actually true in some sense. There are times in life where you need to dig deep and make things happen, and a lot of times when we're wanting things to happen, we don't understand the flip side of that, where we need to focus on the receiving mode and allow life to love us and allow ourselves to receive what we've asked for. It's the art of intention. One way I think law of attraction can help humanity is that we all have a focus every day when we wake up. Are we focused on what we appreciate or what's going wrong, or a combination of both? And it's really hard when the world has our attention and there's a lot of stuff going on that isn't very pleasant to focus on, and it takes a lot of energy to focus on what you want and the state of mind you want to be in.
Wonderful. And David, you want to tell us a little bit about Valor Academy and what you do to help children?
Yeah, so I'm a publisher of a book about the history of the school system. And so what's interesting, that parents, anyone who has a kid, I say the schools were designed specifically to create obedient workers and obedient military men. And so I was so amazed by the work of John Gatto, and so that's the problem. But then the solution is what I created through Valor Academy, and the philosophy is that the world is the classroom, and anything and anybody you can learn from can be your teacher. So kind of open source learning is the whole fundamental idea. Like a lot of parents think that schools or education ends like at graduation, but actually that's called the commencement ceremony. That means you're beginning. So helping parents understand that the learning process is lifelong, and so that's what Valor Academy is about, doing accelerated graduations, apprenticeship, hands-on learning. And I think we're beyond the point of needing to memorize all these facts and things that maybe some of us learn in school. We have the devices. So now it's about learning to be creative, be imaginative, tapped into our intentions like you guys were talking about. And so helping parents realize that, I think, is the goal.
Wonderful. I love that. And I love how you said that the world is our classroom, because that's really what it is. It's the human relationships, it's the travel, it's just putting yourself out there and trying new things. That's really where we get so much value. And I love how you mentioned the technology too, because David is so fascinating. He actually, if you want to explain it a little bit, but your take on technology.
Well, I have to relate to it. It's the world I live in, and it's here. It's not going anywhere, and it's not my enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something going on that we're all feeling that we're not quite sure. Such a quick transformation of every way of going about daily life after hundreds of thousands of years of cultivating neural pathways and understandings and daily rituals that are all being thrown into the wastebasket in the name of one way, to let a machine lead you in your daily life. I don't know what this implies. It could be leading to the greatest transformation of an altruistic world. I don't know. And I don't think there's anybody to blame.
Yeah.
I've never in my life, since I saw all of it coming early on and watching its approaching, I never have felt one intuitive knowing that I'm meant to participate. So I've never used a computer in my life, and I've never had a cell phone. And that's not a great thing. People oftentimes think, oh, that's so amazing. They say that. You said that to me earlier. And like I said to you, well, I'm the way all humans have been throughout all of our evolution until 30 years ago. I'm just doing that same old thing. I'm organic on the ground, walking around, seeing who I see, and just making the most of what I can. So at this point, I'm studying in a gentler way. I'm just curious about what it means for my children's world and all the beautiful creatures that are relying on us to do the right thing. So it stands in that question mark for me, but I love the way he just framed his understanding of education, is because it's a very similar way that I see it. Is that yeah, we're here with this. This is what's going on, but we can do something. You know, human beings are incredibly available and endlessly potential. And everybody is just, what is the little couple pops and things that makes a person open up and say, wow, this is about serving others, not about always getting something from me. You know, how do we see this change en masse?
Very nice.
There's my miniature take on the miniature take on technologies. You know, it's a long discussion.
It is,
Yeah,
it is, and it's just nice to hear people even and talking about it and being open to it and questioning it, because it's so easy to just go along with what everybody else is doing, but the effects that it's had are undeniable. I mean, we've all seen it, right? I mean, it's there. It's something that we do need to talk about, and even on an energy standpoint, I mean, taking a break from it. I mean, how many of us can actually go a whole day without our cell phone? That's I know you seem to have that down, but could the two of you go a day without it? I mean, it's tough. I mean, you struggle with it, but it has negative effects that we do need to talk about. So, I mean, my big topic here, though, is definitely the human potential. What do you think humans need to be doing right now to kind of counteract that and counterbalance that?
Breathe.
Oh, yes, breathe.
I forget to breathe constantly. You know, I think breathing is one of the best ways to stay present, and I know that I need to practice breathing all the time. I'm a shallow breather. I was even a breathing coach, and I'm good at helping other people help breathe really well, but it is something that you really have to stay present with, and it's tough because life wants your attention in other ways. David mentioned that the tea had a really long journey to get here, and I think that if we can sort of mirror that, where we just take a breath in each moment and are able to just take a second to find out what's going on in the moment, is really great, but it's difficult. And you've got to do a lot of intending to focus on that, because life will take your attention away from you to other seemingly more exciting things. But once you can connect to your breath, your life does start to shift.
What I would say is feel. You know, like we're so desensitized to all this drama on TV and all the propaganda and the war machine, all these things. But actually, the real technology is us, right? If we can vibrate with love, vibrate with peace, we actually can put that out there. And so we are the technology. And so to feel what we feel and then to speak our truth. This is the thing I've realized in the last maybe 6 or 12 months. Like we see something's wrong or something's right or whatever our intuition tells us. But if we kind of hold that in because we don't want to offend people or we want to, hurt our parents' feelings or whatever, like we have to speak. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. And this is the harsh reality. And it's a beautiful thing too. It makes life meaningful. That we're actually here to speak and to be, and I like how you said, like boots on the ground, or like connected organically, walking around, meet who you meet. This is a fast ride, and so we do have such good opportunities and challenges with technologies. But the fact that we can just discuss these things and share, tea and ideas, I think is so exciting because we can do greater things. And I think this is the great lesson of true education, right? The root is educo, means to pull from within, to draw out. So actual education is not trying to like pour in, but to unfold and manifest actually. And the other definition I have for education is what we do to ourselves to create a good life. So this is why the one-size-fits-all education is terrible, because they try to give you a nationalized curriculum or state curriculum, say this is what your child needs. And so they do that from age 6 to age 18, the most impressionable years of our life. And so we get stuck in that model. And it's very disempowering. So I think the open source model of that you are potential and you can draw from within and vibrate and speak your truth is definitely a recommendation that I have for all my friends.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And can you imagine if education were more a focus on the power of the mind and manifesting, if we would actually learn how to tap into our innate superpowers and unleash that? And can you imagine what the next generations would be if they were all taught how to meditate, to do qigong, to do these practices, what we could really achieve as a global sensation. I mean, we could do anything. It's incredible. It's undeniable for sure. So, Lisa, you want to talk a little bit about your manifesting or your practices? And I know you're into qigong as well.
Kate, you got me into qigong. This woman, she got me started on qigong, and I hope everybody's able to try it. It's one of the more powerful practices out there. A lot of times I need a moving meditation, so I took up surfing, and that really connected me back to nature. And earthing is another thing I'm really committed to doing basically every day, where I'm connecting to the earth energy because I'm on the computer a lot for work. I'm in marketing, I'm a coach, and I write things, and I do a lot of things on the computer. And I need a way to get connected to the earth, which is as simple as sitting on the ground and just putting your bare feet on the ground for 10, 20 minutes is amazing. It really does a lot more than you think. And I can feel the shift when I'm doing it, and especially if I'm dunking myself in the ocean or doing something even more connected to the water or the earth of the planet. And the other thing I wanted to say about earthing was it doesn't have to be precious. I think it's a great way to just get back into where we come from. You don't have to make it special, just be there, space out, sit on the ground, be on your phone even if you must.
Right, just to clarify, you said earthing, so I've heard the term grounding is when you put your feet on earth or in the ground.
Just, like simple. I love that now we're at the place where we're like, the earth, you could touch it. It's like,
kind
this
of
is what the
important.
world's come to now. It's like, you could breathe and you could touch the earth. Whoa. But that's essentially this.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and that's where humans are right now. We need to reconnect. That's what I do love about the tea ceremonies. It brings everyone into the moment. No one's at the tea house texting. I don't think you're even allowed to have cell phones there, is it?
We don't allow
Right.
any digital.
There's a
No,
sniper
exactly.
outside.
Exactly. It's like the chaos stops and you get to really be in that moment, and the conversations that happen are so much more rich and present, and you really can feel that. That's the beauty of it. So it is about reconnecting, and doing that in any way that resonates, whether that is getting into nature more, or doing a qigong practice, or breath work, or meditation. Any of those practices, that's where humans, I think, really need to put all their focus on right now, for sure.
Yeah.
What's the one that you think is most?
For me, it's the qigong. Qigong and manifesting it, and I even taught that on the show once. The manifesting qigong, and just adding movement to the power of the mind and your intention, and really understanding the mind-body interconnectedness, and just putting everything on what you want instead of everything on what you don't want. And that's happening so much in our society too. We put so much attention and focus on the things we don't actually want to manifest more of, therefore actually attracting more of them. So that switch to, I can't even imagine the potential of humanity if we just made that one shift of, I am focusing on what I don't want. Why don't I switch that to what I do want? Slow down and find my own personal practice and lifestyle. As David had mentioned, it really is a lifestyle, full embodiment of what resonates and what works for you.
Would you say that's your super? Or what is your superpower?
That's one of them.
So many. This question is coming to both of you in a minute.
Yeah, it's definitely the manifesting, because I've dedicated my whole life to that, and that's all I love studying, and it's such a playful thing, you get to really co-create and to do that and to see the results. You're like, wait, I'm really powerful, and we all are, and we can, once you use that imagination and really learn to harness that, you're unstoppable. You can really see a lot of miracles and magic, and that's what I want for the whole world. So I know
your book details.
Yes.
And then the movie.
The Superhuman movie is all about that as well, just human potential, and really dedicating your life to experiencing that and really exploring what that is, in full. So, David, I know you got some superpowers. David has superpowers.
I think it's just curiosity, and the great Socrates said, there's one thing I know, and that's that I know nothing. So if he's considered one of the wisest men to walk the earth, and that's what he said, I think that's a good tenet to put my hat on. So, that's the other kind of quote, is that the most disempowering thing is when you think you know something that's not true, right? So curiosity, seeking, and just trying to tap into my humanity, seriously, the school system is so damaging, really is. So I disconnected to who I am, what I love to do, what I enjoy, and so tapping into that. Life is beautiful, humans are beautiful, and to remember that, and just to experience love of parents or family or siblings or just strangers, to put that out there. So I think curiosity and desire to express love is some of my superpowers.
Very nice. David, what would you say your superpowers are?
I don't know how, but I feel everything that's being said. I think my process is I'm undaviding David. And in order to do that, then there might be a real David here that could actually be just a servant of the necessity of whatever it is. Meeting it well like an Aikido, moving with the energies, even aggressive energies. How do you harmonize with them and allow them passage and transformation in the passage? You see, so accepting difficulties, I would say, is my prayer. Is that I get difficult things, which is a very unusual prayer. them to have. But my whole practice relies on that. Is that I want the challenges now. I want to make this human life incredibly beneficial, so I want to get it all done now. And I'm welcoming these things. I'm not unnecessarily calling forth calamities and problems, but my latent karmas, as I see them, the way I see life, they just arise anyway. They're going to come up anyway. So I'm just calling them forth so I can really deal with them now. So I don't know if you call that a superpower, because as I do that, there's less of me here. So I don't know what mine means at that point, as far as the identification. That's the hard part.
Sure.
It's like the thing, it's like you might call me the owner of the Hidden Peak Tea House, but how's that possible? I don't even own my body. And I know that. I don't just think. You know what I mean?
Right, but absolutely, and that's so much of what the superhuman movie is about. Yeah, exactly, and that's what the movie is really about. Is that it's about we build up the self, the identity. That's what education realizes. It's the me. We get our titles and we chase after all of that, and then it's really about the unraveling of that. That's why the best education, I think, does come after our school years, because that's when you kind of wait. Well, who am I? I was told who I am by my parents and my friends, and I built up the me. But really, when I shed all of that, who am I? What am I for real? And you realize, oh, there really is no me. We're all this life force energy. We're each just energy beings, a beam of light. And how can we all just lift each other and make this a better world with just energy, frequency, and vibration? Like getting back into that truth, So it's beautiful. I wish more people were having these conversations and getting excited about our potential and where we can really go as human beings. It's an exciting time in a lot of ways too, because we are tapping into these innate powers and realizing, ooh, there's another way of living. And we talk a lot about that for sure. We do too. So. Very nice. So thank you all for being here.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for the tea. This
Yes,
was awesome.
delicious.
Share the
Thank you,
manifestation
David.
stories. Yeah.
It's wonderful. Very nice.
Yay.
Yes. All right. Go humans.
I'm definitely pro human.
Pro humans.
Yes.
Very nice, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all very much for being here. It's exciting. Yeah. Thanks for the tea. It was so good. So good.
So very helpful.
So thank you all for being here and for joining us at BTS Presents.